Well, hello everybody. My name is Jack Parks. Name of my channel is Flamin' Groove Listens. And I'm here today to show off what I got on Record Store Day. First thing up here, the only non-Record Store Day title that I bought on Record Store Day. This Grateful Dead with Linda Ronstadt and Boz Scaggs. It's a TV show from 1970, and it's a bootleg. It's not all that great, but it starts off my Record Store Day find. And I've been listening to these records for a while now and figuring out how I'm going to do this, and I don't know how I'm going to do it, so I'm just going to do it. What do we get here? Dr. John, Gree Gree Gumbo, Ya Ya, the Singles. This is an Omnivore Record Store Day release. Pretty good, pretty good. I have a Dr. John CD that's got a bunch of this stuff on it, but it doesn't have a bunch of it too. I like this one a lot, no problem. Let's see what I got next here. Ah, yes, the Faces. Faces. This was the second BBC session recording Record Store Day from the Faces. It's a 2 LP set on clear vinyl. Last Record Store Day we got 1 LP on orange vinyl. They're both, all three records are real good. Listened to them all yesterday. They were good. Like the Faces a lot. What do we got next? Coming up, Charles Mingus. The Reincarnations. This is pretty good too. I like Charles Mingus, but I'm not a real big fan of jazz yet, but I'm getting there. I got about 25 cubes of it already, but this one here I think I like better. This is more my style. The Norman Granz Jazz at the Philharmonic, New Volume 7. Formerly volumes 12 and 13. There's a couple of 10-inch records that they re-released on 12-inch records years and years ago. And once again, they re-released it for Record Store Day. Real nice pressing. I like that kind of stuff a lot. Another jazz one. Art Tatum. This sounds real good. Jewels in the Treasure Box. 3 LPs of a 6-night set at Chicago Blue Note Jazz Club in 1963. I enjoy it. It's good. If you like Art Tatum, it's real good. It sounds good. What do we got next here? Oh yeah, I just listened to this one this morning. One More Lifetime. John Hurlbut and Jorma Kaukonen. Now, if you were watching the Fur Peace channel on YouTube during the pandemic, Jorma did like a weekly sit down, play the guitar, and tell some stories for you. And as the pandemic progressed, I think he did 50 or 60 of these. You can probably go to the Fur Peace YouTube channel and see what's left up there. But every Saturday night he would do a live stream of Jorma playing guitar, singing songs, telling stories. And his neighbor, John Hurlbut, started joining him later on. And they're real good together. I like this one. He covers a Pigpen song, so it can't be bad. This is a great record. Not highly electric, very acoustic, very acoustic. But what do I got next? The Power of the Heart. Now this is one I picked up the day after Record Store Day when I went looking. I discovered the day after Record Store Day that I had needed a birthday gift for a 15-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old, I don't know. She got She got Taylor Swift CD, and I think she was happy with it. I got 4 more Record Store Day titles I was happy with. Here's another one of those. 63 Blues Festival. Mac Guitar Murphy, he's great. Memphis Slim, Sonny Boy Williamson, great. Live in Oberhausen, Germany, 1963. Good stuff. Good stuff. One of my favorites, Sister Rosetta Thorpe. I actually had a CD of Sister Rosetta Thorpe live in France, but it was a different show. This is fabulous. Just her, but she plays them. She sings them and plays them real, real good. Okay, and the last one in this box is Frank Zappa for President. Now, it says it's a compilation, but really it's a couple of Synclaver pieces, which are really good, and then a couple of remixes that I think he did. I think Frank did them years ago, but they're put together in this package, and it came out on CDs a while back, but this is I believe the first vinyl release of it. Okay, so now I got to start with my other box here. And I'm not sure how these are in order, but oh yeah. Roger McGuinn, Chris Hillman, and Marty Stewart and his Fabulous Superlatives. Live, Sweetheart of the Rodeo Tour. Now, when this tour happened, I was still very, very active in the download the bootleg concert shit that I did for years and years. And I think I got 3 or 4 different shows from this tour recorded. On the dime a dozen. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. It doesn't matter. But I really liked the show when I heard it on the bootlegs. They played in the Bay Area, but they played at one of those places that's like 65 miles away and expensive as hell, and I wasn't going. I don't go that far for rock and roll shows very often, and I was tempted, but never made it for this one. Although that record is great. It's a real good recording. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh, Sun Ra, Pink Elephants on Parade. Now, this is my very first Sun Ra album. I think I might have had Pink Elephants on Parade on that Disney compilation CD that I think I have somewhere a long time ago. But I saw it, it looked good. I've listened to it, sounds good. The only real Sun Ra that I like is Sun Ra is on half of the first solo Phil Alvin record. Sun Ra Orchestra backs up half of it. That's my kind of stuff. Rolling Stones live at the Racket. Rolling Stones keep going. They just keep going. Live here, live there. Excellent record. Lady Gaga repeats her performance from the recording. It's a good short live record. Can't say much about the crowd. Lowell George. Thanks, I'll eat it here. Lowell George. One of my favorites. I think I only saw Lowell with Little Feat once. And if memory serves me well, that was my first freebie. For a short period of time in the late 70s, early 80s, I had a friend that was the stage manager at Winterland, and he could put your name on the guest list for some shows. Other shows he couldn't. For instance, the Grateful Dead had over 400 guests on their guest list, and he could not get my name on their guest list at all. But it was very convenient. I think I saw, 8 or 10 shows that way. It was great. You'd go to the back door, and the guy had your name, and he'd let you in the back door, and then right into the show, right by the stage, right up by the front of the left of the stage. it was not a backstage pass. But anyway, Lowell George was playing with Little Feat. Very first show like that I got to go to. And they were fucking great. And a little while later, Lowell played at Keystone Berkeley, which was one of my favorite local clubs that I went to a lot in the 70s. And I got to see Lowell George on his one and only solo tour. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks before he died later on that tour with a heart attack. This has got the real record pretty much the way it sounded before. Cleaned up a little maybe. But then it's got a whole record of alternate takes of the record. And it's interesting. It's pretty good. Glad I got it. Love that guy. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, fucking up. Neil Young. I got a lot of Neil Young. Neil Young, yeah. Well, I start out with Neil Young with Buffalo Springfield. And Buffalo Springfield, I'd heard the hit on the radio. 1968, first time I drop acid. We go to the record store on the way to buying, and we got all three Buffalo Springfield or just the first two, but we got at least the first two, maybe all three Buffalo Springfield and Cheap Thrills at the record store, and went home to enjoy our trip. And those first Neil Young records, the first 2 or 3, I just played to death. And I pretty much kept buying them till I went off in the CD world, and I bought a lot of Neil CDs until he just started erupting in so many releases so fast. I kind of dropped off a little bit. I would say I've got maybe 75 or 80% of everything he's released. Not everything, but this is good. I actually watched a YouTube concert of Neil just the other day, and he's still got what he's got, but it's Neil. Next up, Willie Nelson, Phases and Stages. This is the time. This is when I first got into Willie. I saw Willie in Texas in 1974 on vacation, and it was just an amazing show. And he's still got it. He's still got it. And this is one of his best. And it's got a whole album of alternate versions and stuff. What else did I get? Oh yeah, Gene Clark. I got 2 of the Gene Clarks here, I think. Yeah, I got the Lost Studio Sessions. And I got the No Other Sessions. I may have gone a little more than, Gene Clark. I like Gene Clark, but I'm not sure those were the best records I have of his. But let's see, what else do I got here? Oh, yes. Electric on the Eel, June 10th. 1989. Real fine set. I've only made it through this one once so far, but I like the Jerry Garcia band. I didn't see him often enough. I saw him a few times. I never went up to the Eel. They were fun shows, I guess, but now this is one. When I got home from record store day, I had a box of records from, I think it was from Elusive Discs, the first time I bought from Elusive Discs. So there's 4 records that are, I got them on record store day, but they are not record store day titles. And this is one of them. Bear's Sonic Journal, the Allman Brothers Band, Fillmore East, February 1970. This is when they opened for the Dead 2 or 3 months before the famous Fillmore East show. So it's got similar songs, two sides of Mountain Jam, and some of the same stuff that was on the Fillmore album, but it's 2 or 3 months earlier. It's from February. What else we got here? Oh yeah, we got the Doors in Stockholm. Well, this is definitely a lot better than the Doors in Bakersfield sound-wise. And performance-wise, it's a pretty good show. I never got to see the Jim Morrison-led Doors. I did get to see the Doors in 71, 72 when they had... I actually saw them between the first and second post-Jim album. They played at Berkeley Community Theater, and they were fabulous. The singing wasn't as good, but the music was great. Okay. Oh, let's see. This is another Record Store Day title, Nightfall of Diamonds, and all I got to say is Louis Golden is wrong. He's been bitching about the quality of this recording since he got it, and he's wrong. It's a great recording. Dead. I'm an old-time Deadhead, and I saw the band this era. He's playing with his funny guitar a lot, but it's a great record. If you like the Dead, you'll love it. If you don't, you can be Louis Golden. What else we got here? Jazz from the Pacific Northwest. Shelly Manne and his Men. This is pretty good. I like Shelly Manne. He's one of the jazz guys I've been getting into a lot. Okay, another one of my non-record store day. Fiesta Hi-Fi. Mercury Living Presence reissue. Sounds fabulous. Festival. Reiner Chicago Symphony. Another one of my non-record store day titles. Sounds fabulous. Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. Pink Floyd, back in '69, before I moved to California, I had a roommate that had the British edition of the very first Pink Floyd album that he didn't like, and he used that to clear the house whenever we were hanging around being too drunk and belligerent, which was frequently. He would play that real loud and get everybody to just fucking leave because they didn't like it. And that was pretty much my impression of Pink Floyd right up until recently, is like something to put on to get people out of the house. Basically, they were a band I didn't pay much attention to. I'd go to the Dead shows and my fellow travelers were all loving Pink Floyd. And I go, yeah, they probably put on a big show, but never much liked them. And I ended up, I actually have 2 Pink Floyd records due to my inheritances. I have inherited 5 or 6 different record collections, so I have gotten a lot of records that I didn't actually go buy, is what I'm saying. And Dark Side of the Moon was one of those. So since I've been watching all the vinyl community shows recently, I thought, well, let's see what we can do on listen to Dark Side of the Moon. And the copy I had, I inherited, the record sounded pretty good, but it was a real beat up copy. And I saw this on somebody's channel and I go, well, that looks interesting. So I bought it. Sounds fabulous. Sounds a lot better than the copy I had before. I understand it's not the best sounding, but it sounds okay. And let's see, what else have we got to offer now? So that's my record store day haul. And then one last haul. I got this triple record box set of the, what do they call them? Dutch gramophones, super duper classical. They just came out. My complaint, this is the Planets Boston Symphony Orchestra, William Steinberg. And I've listened to that twice. It's wonderful. And these last two I haven't listened to yet. They're going to come up while I'm uploading this probably. Richard Strauss also. And last but hopefully not least, something by Mahler. Now these were a 3-record limited edition set that cost, well, my landed cost was like $63.85 per disc, 3 records. It was a 191 with tax and everything. But they're fabulous sounding, so I guess you get what you pay for. Anyhow, that's what I did for Record Store Day. I hope you enjoyed it. I've seen lots and lots of other videos out there, people what they got for Record Store Day, and it seems like we all got different tastes. Isn't that wonderful? I think I've said enough. Talk to you all later. See you on Rachel's Ghost someday.